देशिकेन्द्रं परमं पवित्रं वेशस्य पालं मथुरं यतीन्द्रं हिताय निर्णां नरमूर्तिमन्थं विवेकानन्दं महं नमाम्यहम्. Namaskar. So today we are continuing with our episode that I have done in the last class. I think last month, the Jnana Yoga. So in the last class of this, the four types of yogas, we have done the Jnana Yoga, the whole concept of Jnana Yoga. That is, what is the Jnana Yoga? So today we will do the first part of this book, the Jnana Yoga, the Yoga of Knowledge by Swami Vivekananda. Our topic is the necessity of religion. So let us start. Swamiji stating the thing that to mold the destinies of human race, none certainly is more potent than that, the manifestation of which we all call religion. All social organization has have as a backbone somewhere the workings of the peculiar force of that peculiar force and the greatest cohesive impulse ever brought into play amongst the human units has been derived from this power. It is obvious to all of us that in many cases the bonds of religions have been proved stronger than the bonds of race or climate or yeah, or even of the descent. It is well known fact that a person worshipping the same God, believing in the same religion, have stood each other with much greater strength and constancy of the people of merely the same descent or even brothers. Various attempts have been made to trace the beginnings of religion, and in all of the ancient religions which have been come down to us at the present day, we found one claim made that they are all supernatural, that their genius is not as it were in the human brain, but they have been originated from somewhere outside India. Two theories have gained some acceptance amongst modern scholars. One is the theory of religions, that the other evolution of idea of the infinite. One party maintains the ancestor worship is the beginning of religious ideas. The other, that religion originates in the personification of power of nature. Man wants to keep up the memory of his dead relatives and uh, things they are living when the body is dissolved, and he wants to place food for them and in a certain sense to worship them. Out of that came the growth we called religions. So all these things were the speech in the form of speech that were delivered in the London. So let us continue with this thing. Studying the ancient religion of the Egyptian, Chinese, and other races in America and elsewhere, we find very clear traces of ancestor worship being the beginning of of religion. With the ancient Egyptian, the first idea of soul that was that of a double. Every human body contained in it another being of very similar to it. And when a man died, the double went out the body and yet lived on. That is the Atma, and the thing that came, the body and Atma, both are separate thing from the Egypt part. We can find out these things. But the life of the double lasted only so long as the dead body remained inactive. and that is why we find among the Egyptian so solitude to keep the body uninjured. We see na, that in the pyramids, the uh, dead bodies of the rajas and queens and kings were kept in a very secure, means kept wrapped under a cloth. We say it's a mummy, as we used to call it, and it is found mostly in pyramids. So their thinking is that until and unless the body is there, till that time only the soul will be also there. As the body is not there, then we cannot find the soul, right? So that is why their body is kept uninjured, and that is why they build so huge pyramids in which they preserve their bodies. For if any portion of the external body were hurt, the double would be correspondingly injured. This is clearly ancestor worship. With the with the ancient Babylonians, we find the same idea of double, but with a variation we can find. The double lost all its sense of love. It frightened the living to give it food and drink, and to help in various way. Even it lost all affection of its own children and its own wife. Among the ancient Hindu, also we found the traces of ancestor worshipping. Among the Chinese, on the basis of their religion, may also be say the ancestor worship, but it still permeates the length and breadth of that vast country. In fact, the only religion that can be really said to be flourished in China is that of ancestor worship. Thus, it seems on the one hand, a very good position is made out of those who hold the theory of ancestor worship as the beginning of the religion. So this was the who that believed that ancestor worship should be done, means in the beginning of the religion. And on the other hand, there are scholars who from ancient Aryan literature, so that the religion originated in a nature worship. Although in India we find proofs of ancestor worship everywhere, and yet it is the oldest record that there is no trace it whatsoever. In the Rig Veda Samhita, the most ancient record of the Aryan race, we do not find any trace of it. Modern scholars think that it is a worship of nature that they find there. Human mind seems to be struggle to get a peep behind the senses. The dawn, the evening, the hurricane, the gigantic forces of nature, its beauty, these have been exercised the human mind, and it aspires to go beyond to understand something about them. In this struggle, they endow this phenomena with personal attributes and giving them souls and bodies, sometimes beautiful, sometimes transcendent. Every attempt end by this phenomena becoming abstraction, and whether personalized or not. So also it is found with the ancient Greeks, their whole mythology is simple, this abstract nature of worship. So with the ancient Germans and all the other Aryan races, thus on the so this this abstract nature worship. Now ancestor worship came. Now this nature worship topic, the nature worship came. So there where we find that the Germany follow this thing very much. The Germans, the other Aryan races. Thus, on the side, two very strong case has been made out that religion has its origin in the personification of forces of nature. These two views, though they seem to be contradictory, can be reconciled on the third basis, which to my mind is a real germ of religion, and that I suppose to call the struggle to transcend the limitation of the senses. Either man goes to seek for the spirits of his ancestor, the spirits of the dead. That is, he wants to get a glimpse of what there is after the body is dissolved, or he desire to understand the power of working behind the stupendous phenomena of nature. Whichever of this in the whichever of this indicates one thing is certain, that he tries to transcend the limitation of his senses. He cannot remain satisfied with his own senses. He wants to go beyond them. And the explanation of the an explanation need not to be mysterious. To me, it seems very natural that the glimpse of religion should be come through dreams. The first idea of mortality man may well get through dreams. Is that not a wonderful state? And we know that children and untutored minds find very little difference between dreaming and awakened state. What can be more natural than that defined as the natural logic? That even during sleep state, when the body is apparently dead, the mind go with all these intricate workings. So whatever we think in the whole day, our minds also in the night time, it thinks the same thing. Okay, it seems the same thing. This, to my mind, would be a more natural explanation of the supernatural. So, what wonder that men will at once come to the conclusion that when his body is dissolved forever, the same working will go on. This, to my mind, would be a more natural explanation of the supernatural. And through his dream idea, the human mind rises to higher and higher steps. Of course, in time, the vast majority of mankind found that these dreams are not verified by their waking state. And during the dream state, it is not that the man has fresh existence, but simply he recapitulates the experience of the awakened state. What we think in the awakened state, that is come in our dream state. What is the meaning of the awakened? Jagaran. Or we have awakened means we are now in this means normal work, we are whatever we're thinking. In the dream state, we think that in might be something we are thinking tension means which is giving us tension in the awakened state. Same thing coming giving a double effect in our dream state also. So I would not go further before this because time is less. Today we have the Sandhya Trikam also. So today we will keep it till this. This very big explanation is there for this topic. So next day we will again continue with this next topic live on YouTube channel Saradakuti. So we hope that all have liked this video. So we will be ending our program with Swami's mantra. ॐ त्वं देशिकेन्द्रं परमं पवित्रं विश्वस्य पालं मथुरं यतीन्द्रं हिताय निर्णां नरमूर्तिमन्तं विवेकानन्दं महं नमाम्यहम्. So we will continue this part next day, and 2-3 days I think it will be taking to complete this session. Thank you. Namaskar. Dhanyavad.